that's
All right, so now we made it over to Dave's patio, which is kind of fun. So it's going to be story time here. And, you know, Dave, tell us a story about a player who really kind of maximized their, their choice of school. That they spent the time doing the research, and they presented themselves well and sold themselves to a coach, and then they ended up really at a great school.
Well, the thing that's important is, I'm not saying you're not always going to make the right choice and scare everybody about the fact that a lot of kids do transfer in collegiate tennis. The reality is most of them are great success stories, and you do find a college that fits for you. But it's everything in life is a process in terms of when you practice and what you want to accomplish in life, and choosing the right school is a process, and fitting into the system, and being part of something with maybe a new coach or coach coming in who's trying to build a team, and as he builds a team, you're building your abilities and getting better and better. And so there's always stories of kids who go to a program that hasn't been really good yet. A new coach comes in and has the vision to become a real good program, and that individual is kind of what we call the pioneer. It starts with them first, and there's a lot of pride in that, watching you be part of a program developing into something very special, and that's a real great value in being a player in college tennis.
Okay. I have a story that I'll share. I had a player that I worked with when he was 13 years old, and we only worked for a year together, but later we were reacquainted. He was in his 20s. He graduated from college, and he told me the story about going to a small school in Iowa, and then he spent, he played varsity tennis at this school, and it wasn't a school I'd ever heard of.
Yeah.
And he also, went very quickly through his studies, and was a decorated as a, in the academics. But he also was, he became part of the Athletic Hall of Fame at that school, because he was one of the most successful tennis players they'd ever had. And his record wasn't outstanding, but he had just done so much better than anyone else preceding him. So he got a considerable amount of honor out of that. So do you have another story of something like that?
Yeah, personally for me, I recruited a girl. Well, there was a girl playing at another top level program. They were ranked number one in the country, and she was on a full ride, but she was never really in the lineup because the 6 kids ahead of her were always the best in the country. And so she was in a unique position where she was able to take all her prerequisite courses in her major, get those done, and all she had left for senior year were electives. And so she decided she'd go to another school for a year, play tennis, then go back to the previous school and finish up with a couple more classes, so that she got to go somewhere else and then actually graduate the school she started at. The end result, she came over, and it was my 3rd year coaching in TCU, and we were just becoming a good program. And we ended up being top 20 that year. In fact, she was our number 1 player, and had a great year, made All-American in singles and doubles, and actually went on to be ranked very high in WTA rankings, higher than any of the kids from the team she had left. And in fact, that last season, she had beaten 2 of the top 4 girls in that team that she played behind. And the reason is not that it's just the idea that she got a chance to glow, to play, and kind of be the big fish in the little pond that was getting bigger and bigger. And she got confidence, and she was kind of our leader there, and we had great dynamics and great self-esteem created from the situation. And so it just shows that in the right scenario, some things can really go your way under the circumstances. And so, and then sometimes, you transfer, you're not very happy, you transfer and not happy there too. And, there's certain things sometimes when things aren't going your way, you've got to make the best of it, and you can't assume, well, I'm just going to leave and start somewhere else because I can't really deal with it right now. And that's not a good attitude to have either. I think that you have to think in the long run, hey, are there issues? there's a lot of bumps in the roads when you first start, and getting to know a new coach, kids around you, the teammates that you have, and a new environment, particularly your freshman year.
Mhm.
And I know for a fact there have been some kids that weren't very happy in the circumstances they were in at the start of at a program,
Mhm.
and finished all 4 years there. And when they graduated, said, "Oh my God, thank God I never transferred. I just kind of weathered the storm
Right.
and went on and stayed with it. In the
Mm.
long run, it was the best decision for me to do that. Don't cop out because there's some issues that are going on with you and players, or you can always work that out." And the interesting thing is, Bill, I always talk to my players about the idea that we're a family now. And just like a family, you have arguments and you get into issues and spats. And just like a family, you all make up. It happens when you're around each other every single day of the week in a college environment. You're
Yeah,
going to
you're
be
gonna
around
have
them
to
all
work
the
it out.
time. You can't avoid it. You're with them.
Right. And then, the other thing too is that if everywhere you go there's a problem, then
That's right.
you might want to look at why that is.
Maybe you have to look inwardly sometimes.
Perhaps.
Certainly. Sure.
All right. Okay, so we're going to tell another story in another clip.
Okay.
This probably should be aimed